Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. In the last class, we saw some of the myths of entrepreneurship. Some myths are deterrent. That means they don't encourage us to become an entrepreneur. I showed you what contribution entrepreneurs are making and what contribution entrepreneurs can make in a society. The entrepreneurs have the unique privilege to create employment opportunities. At the same time, employees have the unique privilege to make an entrepreneur succeed. They are like the two sides of a currency. Both of them are required. In fact, I was looking at a quotation on myths. The quotation reads like this: fables should be taught as fables, myths as myths, and miracles as poetic fantasies. To teach superstitions as truths is most terrible thing. The child mind accepts and believes them, and only through great pain and perhaps tragedy can he be, in after years, relieved of them. So, this society tells us a lot of myths. Oh, this is difficult. Oh, that is difficult. Or this is so easy. Anybody can succeed as an entrepreneur. Or nobody can succeed as an entrepreneur. Don't go anywhere. Better to get a job and settle down. We have to teach this society. We have to teach the children on the true picture. That's why, my dear students, we are going through this wonderful, amazing course, entrepreneurship. In this class, we are going to discuss about the advantages and the disadvantages of entrepreneurship. For everything there is an advantage. For everything there is a disadvantage. You have to see in what way I am going to take the advantage to my favor to help me. Take, for example, sleeping. Is it advantage or disadvantage? Can you be without sleeping? Or can you be only sleeping? So you need to understand what are the pros and cons. What is the cost and benefit? In management, we used to talk about force field analysis. Force field analysis, which means there are certain things pulling you in this direction. There are certain other things pulling you in the opposite direction. So we need to analyze. Let us look at some of the advantages. The excitement is the first advantage. An entrepreneur is excited. Each day is different. Each day comes with challenges. Each day comes with a suspense. And each day challenges his capacity, attitude, perseverance. He is excited. That's why even in the first lesson we were talking about the mindset of an entrepreneur. It's all in the mind. When you are an employee of a company, You don't have the risk of losing anything. But if you are a person who is curious, who wants to be excited, take it from me, you will not stay in the job for a long time. It is excitement. Even though it is full of risk. Let me recall a personal experience with you. I was heading the personal department of a British company. And as part of my role, we had to recruit. So we go to the universities, colleges, and normally companies recruit the first rankers. So we went to IIT and recruited a person, gold medalist, and we offered a job, and then he came for the final interview. In the final interview, the marketing director was there, the managing director was there, I was there, my director was there. We asked that young engineer, what's your goal? I'm talking about 40 years ago. Those days, if anybody says, I want to retire in this company, I want to have a long in this company, that used to be a positive sign. So the company will think, okay, we can take him, he's going to be with us, he's not going to be a rolling stone. This man said, sir, let me be very, very frank with you. I will work only for 5 years with you. I want to start something on my own. I have an idea. But I need to have some working experience, some manufacturing experience, some marketing experience. I'm told your company is a big marketing company, reputed company. So I want to work with you for 5 years. At the end of 5 years, I will leave. I'm telling you now itself. And you take it from me, during that 5 years, I'll work very hard. I will ensure that you realize money is worth. We were shocked, pleasantly surprised about the frankness. But still we hired him because he was very, very impressive. And take it from me, exactly 5 years later, he left. He started a private limited company with some of his friends and relatives and started an optic company, night binoculars company. Today, he is very successful exporting night binoculars. So the entrepreneurs are excited. It's not that they don't have challenges. They do have challenges. They do have surprises. They do have shocks. So excitement. The second one is, the same example, excitement. You know the history of Steve Jobs. He was working for Apple Incorporation, and then he resigned to start on his own. It is so with many people. Those who are working very well, they don't feel excited on a normal, secure, routine job. Challenges excite them. The second advantage is originality. You have an option to think on your own. Let me give the example of Artfry, A-R-T-F-R-Y. I'm sure you would have come across a post-it notepads, yellow color post-it notepads of 3M company. Do you know the story of that? Artfry was working for that company, and he thought of a new product. You know what happens when you want to send a note, attach something, you have to staple it, or you have to use a pin, or you have to put a gem clip. If you write something, it becomes permanent. Let's say it is a government order. or it's an appointment order, it's some important document, you cannot write on that. If you want to paste something, then it becomes a permanent sticker. So he invented a paper which can be stuck easily. For many years, people never believed that it will sell. He had to work. He had to stand in the market and start distributing these post-it note pads until it became successful. Today, we remember Art Fry. We may not know Art Fry's name, but we remember the post-it note pads. Again, in the same realm of originality, look at what Steve Jobs did. He said, a computer in every home. Just imagine, several years ago, talking about a computer in every home. Computer used to be thought of as a luxury item. Only corporate executives can have. Now look at what's happening now. Similarly, you look at the design of the Apple telephones. People used to say, once you get used to Apple phone, you will not use any other phone. Originality. The third advantage is independence. You are your own boss. You can take your own decisions and be responsible for it. You are not bound by the rules and regulations of working hours. You can decide your own time. You can be flexible. You can independently think of a idea and implement it. If you are working for somebody, the owner may not allow you to do that. That's why people resign their job to become independent. I want to tell the story of Salman Khan. He's not the Salman Khan, our Hindi actor. There's another Salman Khan in US. I don't know how many of you would have heard about Khan Academy. Today, during the COVID period, we talk about online education. Salman Khan talked about online education several years ago. He was working as a professor in MIT Boston, MBA in several subjects, science, mathematics, an attractive salary, comfortable job of a professor. One day, his niece, living the other part of United States, asked him a doubt in mathematics. So Salman Khan took a piece of paper. Instead of writing it on the piece of paper, he solved it using a software and a tool on the computer and posted it on the YouTube and sent the link to his niece. The niece went through that, asked one more question, and he replied the same way, posting it on the YouTube. Some other cousin, niece in some other part of US also asked him. He also posted it. And one other relative from Australia asked. It was going on. One day Salman Khan realized it is not only his nieces and nephews who are going through this, but a lot of people started following him. And he became very popular. Then he started taking it seriously. And one day he thought, why should I not resign my job and take it as a full time? And founded the khanacademy.org. And his motto, to offer quality free tuition to anybody, anywhere. Today you log on to khanacademy.org, from arithmetic to astrophysics, you can see. I heard him in one of the YouTube lectures, TED Talk lectures. One day, he received a call from Bill Gates' office. Bill Gates' secretary telephoned him to say that Bill Gates wanted to meet Salman Khan, whether he has time. Salman Khan says he could not understand whether it is a dream or reality. He had to pinch himself. Bill Gates' secretary wanting to meet him. He said, fine, went and met him. He said, to his pleasant surprise, Bill Gates on his tables had 3 monitors, and one monitor, Khan Academy lessons were going on. And Bill Gates was so impressed about his social obligation, what Salman Khan was doing, and he donated a huge money. After that, many other people started donating to him. And a time reached when he said, I don't want any more money. And today, khanacademy.org is a single window for anybody wanting to learn anything online. This is independence. If he had continued in his job, I'm sure he wouldn't have been as independent as he was or he is today. The next one is called rational salary. See, there has to be a logic in giving anything. If you're working for an employer, there are norms. An engineer with 1 year experience, he's paid this much. An engineer with 4 years experience. A scientist with this year experience. But as an entrepreneur, you may not be paid a rational salary. In fact, you may be earning much less than what you will be getting in some other place. But still, it is an advantage. Freedom. You can do what you want. In this connection, I want to talk about the Richard Branson's space mission. Richard Branson is a businessman based out in UK. He wanted to take people on a holiday to space, and he formed a company called Galactic Space Tourism Company. You know, these days people organize a Europe tour, America tour, world tour. He wanted to start a tour to this space. He said, in 5 years' time or 6 years' time, I will take you people on a space travel. You can go and see the universe as astronauts see. Many people registered. And of course, the mission failed. But he had the freedom to do what he wanted to do. These are the advantages. Of course, there are disadvantages. One disadvantage is salary. They don't work for salary, they work for the excitement, they work for the originality, they work for the independent, they work for the freedom. It may take several years for an entrepreneur to start earning the salary which you may be earning in some other place. He may lose some of the benefits which he may be getting in some other place. Especially in senior executive position, you may be having a car with a driver, you may be having the club membership, you may be having all the credit cards, and you don't have to bother about any expenditure the company will take care of, health insurance. He may not get all the benefits. This is the disadvantage. He may have to sacrifice. For example, if a vice president of a company or a general manager of a company resigns his job to start on his own, he would have got used to traveling on an executive class. When he starts on his own, he has to come down and use economy flights, tickets. He may not be having the luxuries which he enjoyed once, but still he has to accept. This is a disadvantage. A friend of mine used to say his philosophy of life. He says, if by coming down 1 foot he can climb up 4 feet, he will not mind coming down 1 foot. Salary, benefits, work schedule. Yes, you may have to work more number of hours. That's why somebody said, I resigned my 40 hours job to work for 24/7, 24/7. So your work schedule may be much difficult, much more tougher than when you are an employee. Administration. Yes, you are responsible for administration. As an executive, you may go tell your secretary to book a ticket for you. Here you have to book your own ticket. As an executive, you may ask your typist to type a letter for you. Here you have to type your own. The administration function also you have to do. Earlier we talked about coordination and all that functions of an entrepreneur. Yes, the last one is very, very important. Sometimes you may have to deal with incompetent staff. As an employee, if a staff is incompetent, you may go and ask your manager to give you another staff. But here, no. You have to work not only for your success, you have to work for the success of others also. You may recruit, and the person recruited may prove to be not so competent, and you have to own the responsibility for recruiting that person. And it's not the only. There are a lot of advantages and disadvantages. Here is a small exercise for you. Meet any entrepreneur whom you know. It could be your dad, it could be your uncle, it could be your friend's father, anybody. Or it could be even a street vendor. Go to a street vendor. He is selling banana on a cart. Or go to the marketplace selling people selling vegetables, fruits when they are free. Normally around lunchtime they are free. Sit with them with a paper and pencil and ask them what were they doing before starting. Or you take a owner come driver of a taxi. For a cup of tea, ask them, what were you doing? They will say that I was also working in a company. And ask them to tell the story of how they started this. And they will say, and then ask the same question, what are the advantages and disadvantages? And you can add to the list. It's not that this list is exhaustive. It is only illustrative. And so, as an entrepreneur, in order to start an enterprise, you have to remember that everything is not so advantageous. Advantages are disadvantages. Then the question is, why do they do? Passion is a simple word. Passion. Their passion for starting something new. You decide today what is it you want to do 5 years from now, your own, and list the advantages and disadvantages. All the best. See you in the next class.